So our job here in this work is to awaken the central nervous system, essentially, through the power of the chakras. So in a way, we're going to talk about this today and what you might expect to begin to see inside of the system if these powerful hubs, powerful energetic hubs, are beginning to wake up inside of you. So if you're interested in this, then by all means, stick around. So let's talk then, What is a chakra? Well, chakra is a Sanskrit word, and I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe it means wheel. Now, are they really wheels? Well, I don't know, but they are certainly real inside of the system, and I'm going to describe to you what you might begin experiencing as you notice energy get into these, because they can be blooming powerful little hubs of juicy prana. Prana just means energy. And in this sense, you then, when the chakras become alive, or at least get some sort of energy inside of them, you can begin feeling them completely and utterly inside of the system. Really, our important work here in this yogic path is to get into the spine, or what we would call energetically Sushumna Nadi. I hesitated a little bit there because Sushumna Nadi and the spine are not one and the same. They are just similar and housed in the same area. Let's call the spine the physical frame, and let's call Sushumna Nadi just means energy channel. Sushumna means central energy channel. And so we can call that the energetic representation of the physical representation of the spine. This is the pathway for Kundalini. Now, Kundalini is an energy form that lays dormant in most human beings, and it's not even necessarily like it's going to wake up in everybody. It might, and it certainly can, but you have to be willing to put the work in to make it wake up. You can go through two different variations of this path. One is a firework awakening, where a big blast of Shakti is again just energy, happens inside of the system, and this is what we would call in one moment perhaps a big Kundalini awakening or something like this. But also Kundalini will wake up very slowly and very gradually in those that don't have this experience and recognize one isn't better than the other, and in fact this one can be slower. If we have a big firework awakening, because people think the work is done and then they become spiritually arrogant, they don't come and get help. Luckily I did go and get help. I sought out a teacher. Actually, I just found him on the internet. And now I offer the same services as him, because finally the feeling in the system was that I was ready, having gone through my process of this, to be able to teach it. I'm also qualified to teach it, so might as well use what you've got, isn't it? That's what the Bible says. I'm not religious, but it's like God says in the Bible, use what I have given you, and he's given me this. Love it or loathe it. So here we are. Nonetheless, this slower, more gradual process that one might go through, it may not even be slower, it's just more gradual, can actually be faster, is what will begin to happen as you begin engaging in some sadhana. Sadhana just means your daily spiritual practice, or your daily freedom practice. That's why we call this thing freedom technologies, because they're technologies for inner freedom. But the thing with the technology is you've got to use it, isn't it? So we have plenty of different offerings on my website, classes, and there's also a complimentary freedom toolkit for those of you that may have noticed that something's happened inside of you and you want to know what the bloody hell has happened to me. And so you're more than welcome to engage in that down below. It contains sadhana, lectures, mindset training, and it'll just be a little nice taster for you at the beginning. I wish I had it at the start, and that's why I've set it up for you. It's completely free. But for those of you that are really willing and wanting to take this journey seriously and make it like the highlight of your life, like this is what I'm going for and everything else pales in comparison, then you can apply for the freedom blueprint down below. That, of course, isn't free. It can never be free because we have to pay people, and it's quite expensive for us to run, and also it takes 6 months. So you have to be willing to invest in yourself because you're going to get coached quite in depth too. So it requires a lot from us. And therefore, what we would say is you're not paying for the practices, you're paying for the time required and the money required that we have to invest in you in this course on the back end. Really, you're paying for the experience, isn't it, of transformation. But that won't happen if you don't use the tools. Nonetheless, let's keep going. Let's say that we don't have a big awakening experience, right? But we're just slowly, gradually doing some sadhana. Or in time, we're going to start enlivening these chakras. There are 6 chakras in the body. There's the root chakra or Muladhara chakra. There is Swadhisthana chakra or the sacral chakra. There's Manipur chakra or the solar plexus chakra in the sort of the tummy, abdomen area. There's the heart chakra, or what we call in yoga Anahat chakra. This is in between the shoulder blades. There's the throat chakra, or what we would call Vishuddhi chakra. And finally the third eye chakra, which we would call Agya chakra. There is one more, Sahasrara chakra, the crown, but we don't get involved in this because we can't necessarily manipulate it within the body. And what we want to do here is give you the tools to be able to get into the nervous system, to be able to awaken and come alive again in a way, isn't it? And so we leave this one out because it's not up to us when this one will wake up in a way, if this makes sense. So you might begin, one sign, maybe a symptom of one of these chakras beginning to wake up, is a big flurry of energy in that area. Now, you may not find that comfortable at the start. For example, just off the cuff, in the heart chakra, you might begin getting a little bit of pain in between the shoulder blades. It's like an inner sting or an inner bleeding, and it might require you to puff the chest out or sort of do fish pose a lot because the pain is quite large. But of course, this means that there's just some energy beginning to get into that chakra area, and of course there's a little bit of pain because there's probably a fair few blockages in the nadis around that area. Nadi is just an energy channel, huh? And so it can be quite painful at times, but it's not always painful. But it is and will be new for us, because this seems to be the next frontier of human evolution, recognizing that we are energetic in a way, and that we can use our energy and become alchemists inside of the system. And it opens up a new potential for us to, rather than see life through the mind, see life through the spine and live from the spine, which is just a wonderful new way for us to be able to live, because it's more clean, and 2, it's less toxic, isn't it? And these will, in time, the way that I imagine it, these chakras, it's like, sometimes you get an orange, and you cut it in half, and then you get that juicer, and all of that lovely blissful juice comes out. This is what the chakras can become for us, just juicy areas that we're feeling into and living from as a consistent experience in our life. But that does take work. It takes a little bit of time for us to get into the nervous system and do the right kriyas. Kriya is basically a yogic practice or a yogic flow, for that to begin to happen inside of ourselves. So don't go expecting them to wake up, although they might, if you've done nothing. But likely they'll begin closing again. You'll just get a glimpse. If you've not done any work inside of your system, you'll get a glimpse and it'll close again. And then in a way, you have to go and do the work. You have to find somebody that's able to teach you what to do and how to get into those areas, those energy hubs in the body in the right way. So you might receive flurries of energy. The first one typically that's going to wake up in you or have some sort of energetic feeling in it is in the root. Especially if you're doing the practices that we offer you, it will be the root chakra that begins to awaken. So you might get some strong sensations down in between your anus and your genitals, in the middle, in the perineum area. There might be some strong sensations or some energetic aliveness, which may have never happened before inside of your system, and therefore might feel a little bit strange. But don't worry if that's happening. Nothing's gone wrong. Wonderful. A new dimension of life is opening up inside of us, and it's energetic in nature. So Good. If you want, and if you're interested, I'll talk about each chakra a little bit more in depth. So if you are interested in something like that, and the signs and the symptoms that you may begin to experience as you go through the chakras beginning to wake up or become alive again inside of the system, then please do leave a comment below, and because it lets me know that I'm talking about the right stuff and that it's the stuff that you're interested in. Of course, by all means, leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and press the bell icon so that you're continually in the loop when we send out new videos. If this is the stuff that you're interested in, remember, you can always unsubscribe, but it's good to be in the loop and subscribe just in case we never see each other again on YouTube. Alright, lots of love then, love you loads. Namaste.